The rolling fields of Cedar County, Iowa should be a farmer's pride, with rows of corn towering above the fall sky. But today, they are a battlefield. Wild hogs, ferocious, have turned these fields into wastelands, tearing up crops just days before harvest. For the farmers here, each stalk trampled is a blow to their livelihood. Join Jake Larson's hunting team, a group of local men armed with Winchester Model 70 rifles and trained hunting dogs, ready to take on wild boar hunting. This is more than just a hunt, it's a fight to save the future of their community. Follow their risky mission where every moment tests their skills and courage.
Con el segundo.
The sun had just risen in Cedar County when Jake Larson and his team of 4 hunters gathered at the edge of a ravaged field. The air smelled of damp earth and crushed tree trunks, evidence of the latest wild hog attack. Jake, a third-generation farmer turned hunter, checked his Winchester Model 70 loaded with Springfield 36 cartridges, built for accuracy and stopping power. His team, Mike, Sarah, Tom and rookie Ethan, carried similar rifles, while their 3 hunting dogs, trained Plot, named Buck, Daisy and Scout, stood ready. The wild hogs, known to weigh up to 300 pounds with massive tusks, weren't just pests, they were a destructive force that cost Iowa farmers millions of dollars each year. Jake's mission was clear: stop them before they destroyed another crop. As the team entered the field, the hounds picked up the scent, their barking piercing the morning silence. Jake signaled to spread out, keeping low to avoid scaring the boars. The cornstalks towered over them, creating a maze where danger could lurk behind any row. Suddenly, Buck's barking became frantic. A huge boar burst from the corn, its tough hide visible as it charged toward Sarah.
Piotrek mierzy.
He steadied his rifle and fired a single shot. The 36 hit the boar, knocking it to the ground, but the noise of more boars nearby drowned out the thud of its body. The team stood still, listening for the growing rustle that signaled the movement of a herd. Jake led the group toward the noise, moving quickly but cautiously. The hounds charged forward, noses pointed, guiding the hunters to a clearing where the boars were digging in the dirt. There were at least 10 of them tearing up the ground. Jake held up his hand, signaling a ceasefire until they were in position. Ethan, new to hunting, gripped his rifle. They were all calm, aiming. They spread out, using the corn as cover, when Daisy's bark signaled the boars to change direction. A burst of gunfire rang out and 3 of the boars fell instantly, their bodies crumpling to the ground. The rest scattered, crashing through the corn toward a nearby stream. By the stream, the hounds cornered the remaining boars. Jake spotted the largest, a 350-pound behemoth leading the pack. It was heading into the dense woods, where it was nearly impossible to track. The hunters sprinted down the stream, the hounds howling furiously. Sarah climbed a small hill to get a better view, her scope trained on the lead boar. She fired and the boar stumbled but kept running. Jake joined him, his shot finding the boar, finally bringing it down. The remaining boars scattered into the woods, but the team's work here was done. They had taken down 7, enough to protect the field for now. Wild boar hunting is about more than just stopping destruction. Wild hogs were introduced to the United States centuries ago, with no natural predators here, and their populations have exploded out of control. They destroy crops, erode the soil, and even spread diseases that threaten livestock and humans alike. Jake's team isn't after a trophy, they're protecting a way of life. Every wild hog knockdown saves thousands of dollars in crops and preserves land for future growing seasons. But the price is high. The physical toll of the chase, the mental stress of facing a charging boar, and the knowledge that the fight is never truly over. If you are a farmer, do you accept the trade-off of hunting wild boars? Or do you wait for someone else to protect your cornfield for you? In Madison, a low-lying area of Mississippi, a tornado had just ripped through, leaving homes flattened, trees uprooted, roads muddy, and power lines down. The storm was bad enough, but what came next pushed the region to its limits, a surge of wild hogs. Thousands moved in at night, drawn by the smell of freshly turned soil and fields left without fences. Farmers and hunters had to act fast, using both old-school methods and modern tools to manage the threat. Some teams use advanced traps with infrared cameras and motion sensors linked to smartphones. When enough hogs enter, the system triggers and the trap snaps shut. But after the storm, with cell signals unreliable, many had to rely on simpler methods. Fermented corn as bait, sharpened wooden stakes, ropes, and gut instinct. The baked corn fermented for days gives off a strong, sour smell that carries up to 300 feet in humid air. Setting the trap isn't random. Hunters track hoof prints, rooting marks, and hog movements for days to pick the right spot. The ground in Madison was soft and muddy like wet clay, making it tough to set traps. Each one needed stakes over 3 feet long or steel frames tied to large trees to stay secure. Without tech, it was all about experience and focus.
Eight.
One night, in heavy rain and wind, a large group of hogs showed up earlier than expected, more aggressive than usual. The herd broke through, heading straight for the hunters' camp. In the dark, flashlights fell, boots slipped in the mud, and sticks were swung to fend them off. A gunshot rang out. The hunters weren't just trapping, they were fighting to hold their ground. At dawned, they saw the damage. Hoof prints over 4 inches deep in the mud, trees chewed up and the trap's steel frame bent. The hogs weren't just feeding, they were testing the area. After that night, the approach changed. The number of lookouts doubled, with shifts rotating every 3 hours. Drones patrolled the area and traps were fitted with GPS trackers and vibration alarms. New traps were tested on smaller groups of 20 to 30 hogs before being used on larger herds. The key takeaway? Wild hogs don't fear traps, they only respect determined humans. You would think farmers would cull all these pigs, right? But hunters don't usually process the meat. But the quality varies depending on the method of capture. One study compared meat from 60 wild boars, 20 trapped, 20 still hunted, and 20 hunted collectively. Weighing between 90 and 150 pounds, the pig's longissimus dorsi muscles were tested for pH, colour, juice yield, loss on cooking, and tenderness at 1, 24, and 48 hours after slaughter. The results show that well-managed pen traps produced meat of comparable quality to hunting traps, with no significant negative effects, making traps a solid choice for both control and processing. If you've tried them, let me know how they tasted. In the fertile farmlands of California's Central Valley, wild boars tear through tomato crops, costing farmers like John Earthworm Miller $2.00 every other day. I lose crops worth $2.00 regularly, Miller told local reporters, his voice heavy from a decade-long battle on his 4-acre organic farm. With the US wild boar population surging in recent decades, these adaptable, fast-breeding animals ravage fields from seedlings to harvest. When state efforts like fences failed, Miller's community launched the biggest boar hunt in local history, a Lovell intense stand to save their livelihoods. Here's how it unfolded and what it means for farmers everywhere. The hunt kicked off at dusk when boars swarmed Miller's fields. 100 people, 30 state wildlife agency marksmen, 20 farmers with licensed rifles, and 50 volunteers spread across the Central Valley's dusty fields. Guided by California's hunting regulations, the state permitted culling outside protected areas, subject to strict rules. No shooting within 1 mile of wildlife refuges, no targeting sows, and every knockdown was required to be reported. Arjunan, a farmer and experienced hunter, crouched on a hill, his gun steady. A large wild boar charged into a row of tomatoes. Arjunan aimed a quick, humane shot through the animal's shoulder, as required by state regulations. The gun went off and the 200-pound boar went down in a cloud of dust. Panic broke out as 15 more wild boars charged from the undergrowth. The shooters fired in unison, while the dogs charged out to chase the wild boars away from the house. By the end of the day, 18 wild boars had been knocked down, with no one injured, although one dog was slightly injured by a boar's tusk, but was treated immediately. The hunt began with Miller's plea to 150 farmers, backed by the Central Valley Farmers Association. Boars weren't just ruining crops, they endangered lives, like a worker attacked near Fresno. The farmers' call, "Save our crops, secure our future," united shooters and volunteers. The Wildlife Agency ensured safety, mandating trained marksmen and no stray shots. Carcasses were buried to prevent disease, with a veterinarian checking samples. Before the hunt, 5 units of shooters and trackers studied boar paths in the dust. Camera traps pinpointed hot zones where boars raided fields. Rifles, night vision scopes and walkie-talkies were checked, with volunteers setting noisemakers to lure boars into open ground. Safety was key, only licensed shooters fired, and volunteers stayed clear of the line of fire, ensuring compliance with state laws. The hunt saved Miller's crops, but boars remained a threat. The Farmers Association pushed for electric fencing, proven in other states, and biorepellents, like native plants that boars avoid. Crop diversification to grains and insurance programs, which paid $2 million, 0 cents for losses over 5 years, offered relief. Habitat loss, thousands of acres of California's wetlands gone in a decade, drives boars to farms, so restoration was urged. Ravenwood, a small village in Louisiana's wetlands, is surrounded by miles of swampland. During flood season, the water levels suddenly rise, forcing alligators from their hiding places to the outskirts of the village. Locals have long told tales of giant alligators stalking and attacking people on their wetlands. But how many of these tales are true? The Ravenwood wetlands, which span more than 100 square miles, are home to nearly 10,000 alligators at the height of the flood season. These animals can grow up to 18 feet long and weigh more than a ton. Every year, the villagers try to protect their land by building underwater fences. But the force of the floods and the strength of the alligators have undermined their efforts. The fences often buckle and break, unable to support the weight of the alligators. From these incidents, in the 1980s, local authorities, along with biologists and hunters, decided to take action. They discovered that flooding created ideal feeding grounds that attracted crocodiles in large numbers. To control the population and reduce the danger, the community began a closely managed crocodile hunt by the authorities. This included trapping and hunting. This effort helped reduce the immediate threat, but it also raised the question of whether this was enough to truly control the growing crocodile population. The alligator hunt begins with the roar of heavy vehicles designed to withstand the conditions of the swamp. Hunters, who are required by law to be at least 18 years old, face harsh conditions as they navigate the waters where many threats lurk. Alligators, often over 18 feet long, are no ordinary prey. Equipped with jaw forces exceeding 3,700 pounds per square inch. Inexperienced hunters risk everything if they underestimate their prey. And this is not acceptable for alligator hunting. Each hunt requires at least 5 people to assist in the hunt. Large, reinforced traps are deployed to target crocodiles. Hunters use ropes to hold their prey, but these methods can fail if the crocodile escapes or struggles violently. To avoid unwanted attacks, hunters must understand crocodile behavior, especially their stealth and speed underwater. Crocodiles attack from below using the dark depths to ambush their prey with quick lunges. Therefore, hunters must understand this to avoid risks. After capturing the alligator, the hunter quickly covered its eyes to reduce stress and immobilized it by clamping its powerful jaws. This prevented any flailing and attacking at any time, as alligators rely on their eyesight and jaw strength to defend themselves.
1, 2, 3, go! 1, 2, 3, go! And again.
The successful capture of the alligator marked a victory in controlling the dangerous population in Louisiana. Alligator hunting in the United States has changed significantly over the years. In the mid-20th century, trapping was replaced by gun hunting, which was regulated by the US. Fish and Wildlife Service. In the state of Texas, alligator hunting is now allowed under strict regulations to ensure sustainable alligator populations in lakes and rivers. Hunters are allowed to use .38 caliber rifles to successfully skin alligators. The use of firearms is strictly regulated and hunters must follow FWC mandated methods. Hunters are advised to keep a safe distance when approaching alligators to avoid surprise attacks. Violations of hunting regulations can result in severe penalties. Additionally, in Louisiana, it is essential to post warning signs near flood zones during the rainy season. Important reminders to stay away from areas with high alligator activity, especially when rising waters bring the danger closer to home. After the hunt, distributing alligator meat to families in need provides essential nutrition, while ensuring nothing goes to waste. Turn the threat into an opportunity to support those struggling with food insecurity. as the Louisianans tackle alligator threats. Another carnivorous predator looms in the northern and western United States, the wolf. Wolves have devastated livestock, particularly sheep in regions like Montana, causing economic losses. In 2021, the sheep farming industry reported significant damage, with nighttime attacks accounting for over 80% of losses. That same year, scientists estimated over 20,000 wolves were born, intensifying the crisis. Female wolves fiercely raise pups, requiring abundant food sources, but declining natural prey forces them to target livestock. Their pack-based hunting behaviours, including calculated, cooperative attacks, magnify the challenges for ranchers, reshaping the landscape of livestock farming. Their roars warn of an impending hunt. This is a signal of the pack's solidarity before they attack. For many years, herders relied on hunting dogs to protect their flocks, but the increasing number of wolves has made this method ineffective. As mother wolves instinctively search for food to feed their young, the survival of the pack is at stake. The relentless cycle has become a direct threat to the herder's economy. How can they fight against such a force of nature? To combat the growing loss of life from wolf attacks, obtaining a hunting license has become an important step. Obtain a legal hunting license through the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife and Parks. Hunters can purchase hunting guns approved for wolf hunting from licensed firearms dealers. including Bass Pro Shops. Once a hunting license is obtained, it is time for the hunter to focus on preparing the trap for the upcoming hunt. To effectively set a wolf trap, choose a solid base such as a trail. Clear the snow and close the trap with an axe to create a tight hole for the MB750. Tie a 10-foot chain to a tree, or use a medium-sized object to control the wolf's movements. Carefully set the trap with even pressure, rolling your hand away from the ground for safety. Camouflage the trap with fresh soft snow to blend in with the surrounding environment. Wolves are intelligent and cautious predators with good senses and can detect disturbances. Regularly check to ensure the trap is working properly. One wrong move when setting a trap can allow a wolf to escape and disappear into the wild. That's why hunters are warned to check their traps at least twice a day. The stakes are high. When hunters collect traps, they must be vigilant, as the traps are designed to open and close quickly, so hunters must pay close attention to safety. This careful process has helped Montana hunters manage their wolf population. Reports show that this vigilance has kept hunts within the state's safe limits, with the number of wolves allowed to be hunted each year typically being between 200 and 400 during a specific period from January to March. In areas like Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, the illegal trade in fake wolf fur has become a serious problem. Hunters are required to report the number of wolf pelts they harvest to the government to ensure the authenticity of the furs. The proliferation of fake fur products has disrupted the market and endangered wildlife conservation efforts. Real wolf, Fur is valuable in high-end clothing and accessories, but the fake fur trade undermines the economy. The increasingly fierce confrontation between humans and nature is not limited to predators. Now, another threat is emerging: the European starling. These invasive birds, with their numbers exploding to over 200 million, are wreaking havoc across farms, fields and cities. And their aggressive behaviour is disrupting ecosystems and pushing native species to the brink of extinction. Flocks of starlings that invade cities can create a major nuisance, resulting in a build-up of droppings, constant noise and unpleasant odours. They often seek shelter on rooftops, negatively impacting the living environment of residents. Hunters are now taking action to control numbers before the damage becomes irreparable. In the United States, hunters targeting European starlings use strategies such as decoys and distress calls to attract the birds, especially on farms where they cause damage to crops. Hunting of these invasive species is legal in most states, but regulations vary. Hunting seasons typically run from fall to early spring, with no population limits in many areas, but hunters must follow local laws. In some states, starlings must be hunted during designated seasons, and hunting outside of these guidelines can result in penalties. If hunted improperly, it can disrupt local ecosystems, threaten native bird populations, and lead to environmental imbalances. As hunters, we have a responsibility to protect the habitats we value. What are your thoughts on hunting and the pests that directly impact the lives of Americans? Do you believe this approach helps protect our habitats while minimizing disruption? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more great hunting content.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.